So everybody's talking about the Supreme Court leak that just came out as of today.
Politico has reportedly obtained a draft opinion which suggests a decision has been made to overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark ruling that legalized abortion.
I really like how this is a February document, and so currently in May, we're still in draft mode. A month before the final copy is to be released. How far away from final could you possibly be?
The report claims Justice Samuel Alito wrote, "We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled."
Come June, the Supreme Court is going to strike down Roe versus Wade. And while everybody's collectively panicking and very much angry or super happy about the decision that's likely to come, I think we're missing why this leak actually happened. Now, this is my perspective of why the leak happened and what it actually means. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. I think that come June or come when the decision is finally formal, there's going to be all over the place. It's going to be a lot of anger, a lot of protest, a lot of just things is going to be it's going to be a complete show. And it already is. People are already jumping down to the Supreme Court streets and like banging on the doors saying, hey, let us in. We are not going to tolerate this. While on the opposite side, people are like, yeah, it's about freaking time. We've only been asking for this for like 50, 100 years or whatever it happens to be. So, with all that said, here's why the leak actually happened. I think the Supreme Court justices are involved in it. Well, the conservative ones anyways. And if not, at least the Republican leadership is in on this. So what I think is happening is that they clearly know that this decision is going to piss off a lot of people.
But if this decision were finalized, it would dismantle 50 years of precedent and pave the way for states to severely limit abortion rights in the U.S.
Rights that were previously given is going to be rescinded. It's unheard of. It's likely happened before, but it is severe. 50 years of something being a right being taken away. Okay, so the reason why they're doing this is so that they can provide an issue to talk about rather than talking about the real issue of, hey, we just revoked a right that's been standing for a long time. And instead, they get to be on the higher ground of saying, hey, the judicious process has been broken. The trust of the legal system has now been broken. How could someone dare do this to us? This is an outrage. How dare they? It's a way to deflect from the real issue of, hey, we're denying rights. Now, hey, look, this is inappropriate. No, you can't do this. We demand justice. And so that becomes a talking point rather than talking about what they have just denied everybody else. And by having this righteous indignation, they get to claw back power to themselves that says, hey, the Supreme Court is a court that is not to be questioned. It's not to be criticized for their decision-making process. It's not to be intimidated. No, don't intimidate us by releasing our very sacred work in which we get to deny everybody else a right to do X, Y, Z. Because if they deny abortion rights, what's next? Can we return back slavery? Just abolish the 14th Amendment completely. Why not rescind that? Please don't rescind that. Please don't rescind that. So in my esteemed opinion, I think that this whole thing is nothing more than a distraction, either designed by the SCOTUS conservative judges or the Republican Party as a way to distract from the real issue of saying, hey, we just denied women their reproductive rights. We are taking away the ability for families to make decisions regarding when and how to plan their families, away from doctors, professionals who actually know how to, manage all this. We're taking that away, and rather than criticizing us for making this decision that, they don't have any real jurisdiction over, and this has been an established precedent for over 50 years, rather than having to defend that, we can now justifiably say, hey, oh my goodness, everybody, the quorum process, trust has been broken here. That's the real issue. Let's talk about that. Let's not talk about the fact that this woman, can no longer make a decision regarding her body. This family can no longer make a decision regarding, how and when to plan their families. And have that discussion be between their healthcare provider and themselves. No. Let's bring the government, the small but powerful government, to make that decision for them. And again, after 50 years. I'm not making a criticism over whether I'm pro-choice or pro-life, regardless. What I'm really concerned about is a consolidation of power that's continuing to build up the judicial branch as a place to make laws out of nowhere, break laws out of nowhere, and potentially head down a dangerous precedent where one thing is a right one day, and based off of electing certain judges into the Supreme Court, either by stealing those judges outright, you get to shape the nation in however you like. And maybe one day, the Second Amendment is going to be a thing of the past. Maybe another day, free speech, the First Amendment, become a thing of the past. Who knows where we're going? Especially when we get to then deflect from having to defend a reasonable decision by coming up with the false flag of, hey, trust has been broken. But if we really think about it, whose trust is broken here?